kind of a big deal.
Really?
People know me.
What is up, everybody? I'm Nick Marty. I'm your host of Bearded Bites and Breakdowns. I'm coming live today with a special guest. I wanted to have her on because the fact being that I just feel like it's very important around this time of the year that we get to know, our candidates that are running for elective positions. And I met her a couple times now, and I'm gonna say right now, like, I really like when people are down to earth and really like to be about the people. And to me, you can't get any better of a people person and that is amongst us when it comes to running for county commissioner other than Dr. Holli Herndon. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Bearded Bites and Breakdowns, Holli. Can you hear me? You able to hear me? Holli? Are you on mute? Oh boy. Here, let me try to bring her back here. I don't know if she's having internet connection or not, but let's see here. Holli, can you hear me? You can't hear me at all? Hold on here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh boy. Can anybody hear me? This isn't good. No. Hold on. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. Let's see. I'm gonna have her go ahead and log back in. That's wild. You know, they said that StreamYard's having some issues, so I mean, we'll see how it goes. Let me see. Let's see if anybody can actually hear me. I hate dead air. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, everybody? How about now? Let's see. Let's see if Holli is here now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, good.
We love technology.
Well, I mean, StreamYard's been having some issues. I know that for a fact. So I just, I was like, okay, is it me or is it her? Like, I was like, sometimes it happens like this. So, anyways, Dr. Holli Herndon, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with you tonight. My name is Dr. Holli Herndon. I moved to Citrus County when I was 7 years old and started first grade here. So I've been here 35 years. Met my husband here at 17, knew right away this is where we wanted to raise our family. So we've raised two wonderful kids here in Citrus County. My dream was to go into education, and that's where I've been. I've worked being a teacher into an instructional coach, a behavior specialist, and then eventually moved into the district office to work on building programming for the district and a lot of career and technical pieces. And my husband's dream was to have a plumbing company, and I'm very proud of him. He has his own local small business here, and we've spent our lives just pouring back into Citrus County because we love it here so much. So when the opportunity arose for county commission, I knew that I had the skills to be able to really work with the team that we had of 5 county commissioners and bring something to the table for our county.
Let me ask you this. Why what you can go ahead and plug your husband's business if you want. I'm all about I'm all about mom and pop places and local businesses because that's what I feel like needs to be driven more.
Yeah, small business is the backbone of our community. When
Yes.
you look at events going on, you notice it's always the small businesses first that are signed up to sponsor those kind of events. So I'm really proud of him. His business is Tim Herndon Plumbing. This is a man who, school wasn't really his thing. He was always mechanical, and he found his way into plumbing, and now he employs other local families so that they can prosper. And I'm just really, really proud of him.
Well, that right there is very awesome. If you guys need any plumbing, if you have any plumbing issues or anything, go to her husband. Support local. I always say support local. We as this county is, we're growing so fast, and I really wish we as a county would support more local businesses in general and make them have more prime real estate when it comes to around surrounding the county. Now let me ask you this. What was the decision on, like, you decided you were like, hey, all right, I'm gonna run this year. I really think I should just run this year, just because hey, you wanted to see changes, or like what tell us what got you into it, because
So
obviously we know politics is a little ugly at times.
it can be. So it's actually an interesting story. We have things on our bucket list, like getting my
Mhm.
doctorate for me was on my bucket list. Politics was not. So I was actually meeting with a gentleman. My husband and I opened a local nonprofit about 3 years ago. We bring middle and high school kids in to learn engineering, metal working, woodworking, those kind of things. It's really like shop class and home ec. And we were talking to a gentleman about that. And when we got done with the conversation, he said, it's a real shame that good people like you and your husband don't run for office. And I said, well, why do they not run? And he said, oh, it's an ugly, ugly business. They can take everything good you've ever done in the world and erase it in one election cycle. And I said, you're right. It doesn't sound like anybody would want to do that. And then it just sat with me as one of those things that would just not go away. And I kept thinking about it, thinking about it. And I really looked at what a county commissioner did. I spent weeks going over what their job responsibilities were to see if I would even be an asset to our county. And my doctorate in education, the educational part comes from writing my dissertation in the educational field, but the other part of my doctorate is about being a specialist in organization and systems, how we run as efficient and effective as possible. And I realized that I could bring that talent and treasure to the commission and really help the team in that way. So we decided as a family that this was just one more thing we could do to serve Citrus County.
Mm. Listen, I love Citrus County. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Hernando County, and I love when people are trying to do good, and especially when people are that grew up in the county. I feel like I grew up in this county too, in a way. I've been here for a good 16, 17 years now, and to me, like, I just love this county. Like, I really do. It reminded me of Spring Hill, about 25 years ago or so, before the expressway came and all that. And I just, I really want to see good, and I'm glad to see somebody wants to do good is in such a important position. Now, let me ask you this: what is, like, some of the things that you would like to try to help change or improve on when you do become a county commissioner?
So really, one of the things going into this is I didn't want to go in with my own desires. This is really about being a voice for the community,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very old school, but I feel like elected officials are supposed to be a voice for the people. We're supposed to take their voice, and that's why we have 5 districts. I live
Mm-hmm.
in my district. I know the culture and the community here. We're supposed to take that voice and represent it on the dais. So, what I did over the course of 4 months is I collected information, talking to everybody who I could catch an ear with, and they really put together what they wanted. And it came down to three specific things. One, protect the environment here, protect our nature coast. We live in a place people vacation to. Like, if you wrap your mind around that, we don't want to
Mhm.
lose that. The
Yep.
other protection was in taxpayer money. Our families are working so hard for their money, and they don't mind paying taxes. They just want to know that they're being used in the most efficient way possible, that it's really feeding back into the quality of life. The second component they brought up was about planning ahead, making sure infrastructure was on point with the growth that we're experiencing, not feeling out of balance like we do right now. They really wanted long term planning and to be part of that planning, not find out about it after the fact. And the last part that came up was about prospering. We have over 52% of families have to leave Citrus County to go to work. They sleep
Mhm.
here, but they have to leave to work somewhere else. And a lot of people who have talked to me said, I know that your background is in career and technical. I've seen what you and your husband have done. We're really hoping that you're going to be that fighting force to bring industry here, light industry, not heavy things. We're not talking about asphalt plants and concrete things. We're
Yes.
talking about like airplane parts and medical equipment, very light industry that we can build our workforce and diversify our economy because
Mhm.
people want to live here and work here. So, those were the three things that really came up for our citizens. And what I'm proud of is those are derived from them.
Okay. To me that's very important because we do need some labor industries around here. We need to do we don't need no data centers. We don't need like you said asphalt you know places like that. We don't need that. We need actual manufacturing places that are light duty, like you just said, and everything like that. Now, um, how do we? So let me ask you this: how do we grow as a county, and how do we keep that small town feel? Like, how do we like make it more? Hey, let's bring in more jobs and that pay good because like I used to work for Pepsi, for 22 years. So to me, like our warehouse was in Ocala. My warehouse when I was in Brooksville, I was in Brooksville. Like to me, we don't have that around here. What can we do to like grow but not lose that small town
Mhm.
feeling?
So part of that is we have a comprehensive plan and we have a land development code. And those are two things that tell us where growth should occur to
Hmm.
protect the nature coast and to also protect the community and climate and culture we have here. Following those is very important. And some of the decisions you'll see that have been made in the past didn't necessarily follow that. Things were upzoned or higher density was put in, or things that bother me is in the school district, I would have a book salesman show you all the shiny things over here, and then
Hmm.
something else is happening over here. So what
Yeah.
we're seeing on the commission is workforce housing, affordable housing, but over here we're getting expensive villas and homes, for people who cannot afford them. And you have to brush through that stuff. You have to hold the developers accountable to keep that small town feel that you're talking about. But in the last 3 years, there have been 7 light industries that moved into our neighboring counties. So, what I did was I called them, told them I was running for office, and said, did you look at Citrus? Why did you choose another county over us? Number one thing that came up was permitting. They said the permitting system was not working. So in
Yeah.
Sumter, for example, a company could get through permitting in 2 months, but in here they were looking at about 18 months. The second thing they talked about was shovel ready sites. So they said you have the Holder Industrial Site and you have the Inverness Business Park, but neither are absolutely ready to go. And when a business is ready, they're ready. They want to start building. The third thing that came up was workforce. They want to know that we have a strong tie between the school system and the businesses that are coming in, that we are training workforce and that we have workforce here to fill those jobs. So that's where we have to all work together as partners to make sure that this is working for everybody.
Mhm.
So it's
Uh,
very doable, but it's going to be about building those relationships. And this is not something that happens overnight.
oh yeah, definitely. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Mhm.
You know, my my thing on that too is like, when it comes to the businesses not coming with us and permit, like, the permitting, I hear it from builders. I hear it because, I'm in the garage door business. So like I hear it from builders, I hear it from people that are just building stuff on their own. The permitting part, department, I don't know what needs to happen with that to like help get things done faster. But to me, it sounds like pulling teeth from a crocodile while the crocodile is still alive. It's just one of those things where it's like you don't. We're trying to build, and we're trying to, just regular people like me and you are trying to get stuff done, and they can't do it on their own property, and it's a little frustrating for them, and I hear it. I've been going to a lot of these meetings and stuff like that. I wanted to touch base and ask you because I heard a lot of elderly people that were in the crowd that were asking about safety, like when it
Mhm.
came to police officers and everything. What is your plan, or like what is the help make you a plan on trying to keep our officers? Because a lot of concern from the elderly people that I heard at some of these meetings was, we're losing good officers to other counties because they're paying more. What do you have to say? What's your opinions on that? What's your thoughts?
So I did reach out to have a meeting with our current sheriff to ask
Hmm.
him exactly that. Like, as a commissioner, what would be my position to support? And he talked about he has done all of the legwork to do the
Hmm.
pay studies to find out where he needs to be able to keep them. Because you're right, we're losing good people in different areas. So
Yes.
he's he's very transparent about what he needs and why he needs it. So he's not just asking for money just to ask for it. He's asking for it with a very specific purpose. The other thing is he's taken positions that are open. Instead of that money sitting, he's paying to put students through the police academy at with Lakuchi Technical. And
Mhm.
those students are then able to get a job with the sheriff's office. So I will say the sheriff's doing everything he can to work on maintaining those people, because you're right, everyone's vying for our people. But we
Mhm.
have to make sure the other side of that is you can pay them well, but if they don't have a place to live, affordable housing, like that's another piece we have to work on. These all go hand in hand.
Yes, they
Um,
do.
the, the things we have to work on are not in silos by themselves. But the good thing about that, and this is where I love data and I love the organizational systems, is when you put all of our issues or our concerns out together on a Venn diagram chart, they all overlap. The good thing about that is that when you start pitching one in the right direction, it's going to start moving the other ones as well. So, workforce, affordable housing, those things go hand in hand. They also go into
Mhm.
our homelessness concerns as well. So, those are things we have to stay on top of. Now, you go back to the sheriff needs money. Well, that ties directly into the budget. Do we have the money? Are we using everything as efficiently and effectively? Have we gone line by line? Have we worked with the county administrator in our departments to make sure that we're running as efficiently as we need to? So it's not just about, hey, let's give the sheriff money. It's about, we have this tax money we get from you. You want to know where your money's going. You want to make sure public safety is first and foremost.
Mhm.
And all of those pieces have to work together. That's where I really can help with that organizational systems background.
Yeah. And the touch on that, I wanted to speak up. I wanted to stand up and say, yeah, we're not just losing good people for police officers.
Mhm.
We're losing good teachers. We're losing good coaches. We're losing a lot of good people, like just in general, like out of this county, because they're going other places that are paying more, and it's sad. Like we're not just losing that, we're losing students, We're losing just good families going to other towns and stuff because just certain situations, and it's just sad. It's really, really, really sad.
But the other
Um,
part of that, you know, as
mhm,
well as I do, is if you have a good climate in a place, you know, people will stay for that too. There's people like when I came to Citrus County, growing up here, I knew that I wasn't going to leave here, that I wanted to raise a family here. I went
yes.
into education. It wasn't because of the money, it was because of the climate and culture that I wanted to stay in to help raise the next generation and be part of that. So, those are pieces that we have to also look for, keeping it all together. We'll have good people who want to stay, and maybe they don't care about making top dollar, but they want to have a place to live. They want their family to prosper here and have a good quality of life.
hmm Um, my next question to you is property taxes and the cost of living are a major concern. Is there anything you believe that county commissioners can realistically do to reduce the financial burden on homeowners?
Yes. So our burden is primarily on the taxpayers. When you and I talked earlier about bringing industry here,
hmm
another reason for that is because you have to diversify the economy. So much burden is sitting on our taxpayers because we don't have that money coming in from other pieces. We're not creating anything to bring money back here. We're not. Now, when we talk about jobs, we have a lot of retail and service jobs, but we're not having as many opportunities in other fields. So that's a multifaceted thing. One, we need to diversify our economy and take the burden off taxpayers. And then two, we have to make sure that the taxes that we're using are being used to fund the things that taxpayers need to be funded. Um, we're talking about roads, we're talking about infrastructure, those kind of things. So it's really there's multiple pieces in there. Um, yes, you don't want to raise the taxes because people are already struggling. And I've seen that throughout this campaign. We have really great people who just say, I'm doing everything I know to do right, and I'm still struggling.
hmm
So, but these are also the same people who never say, I want you to get rid of my taxes. They just want to know that their tax money is being used the best way it possibly can be used, and they want that transparent to them.
Yes. I feel like, me as a taxpayer and a lot of just everybody in general, we like to see where it's actually going because
Mhm.
you see it, and I don't want to bring in this rabbit hole of mine, but um you see it up in Minnesota, where I'm from. I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota. You see the scandals that are going on in Minnesota. You see the scandals that are going on in California with Nick Shirley exposing people like counties and just states using the funds and stuff that us hardworking taxpayers are doing.
Mhm.
You're seeing them using the money, and it's not going to what it's actually supposedly going to. What can we do to like make sure it's actually going to what we say it's going to?
So
Because yes, go ahead.
transparency there is going to be huge. And I know I've heard it a million times that we're being transparent by putting it up on the website. That's great. But when somebody can't understand it or read it, or you need a whole nother degree to decipher it, is
hmm
that really being as transparent as possible? So when you think about, I've had people ask the gas tax. They're like, we're paying a gas tax. We're paying 2 tenths extra on millage for roads. How much is that? And is it going to the roads? Those are the questions that people want to follow to know where their money is going. So first and foremost, citizens have lost trust with their elected officials
hmm
and with the system. So building that trust back is going to take time, but it's imperative because we can't move forward until trust is built back. And I believe transparency is going to be the first part of that. Also, when you start diving down into a budget and really going line by line through things, the departments know what they're spending too. And that's a big part of this because sometimes people spend money that they don't even realize they're spending, and we can recoup, and it's not going to be this magic $39 million is just found sitting somewhere. It's not like that. But when you are running any business, and the government is a business, and we're supposed to be providing you the best level of customer service possible. So running this business, we have to be going through it into a deep dive. And that's going to take a little time, but I feel like it has to be done to start building trust back with people so that when you pay your tax bill, you're like, okay, I'm paying for fire, I'm paying for police, I'm paying this much for roads, and you can actually see where it's going and how it's being used.
Yes, and you can actually see the results. Like
Yes.
me, I'm a big like, look, I'm no bookworm. Listen, I was not very great at school. Yes, people know I'm a goofball and a moron at times, but my thing is like, break it down for me, dummy it down for me, so I can best understand it. If you could do that, that'd be great, because like, like I always try to, when I always break down certain things for customers when I'm, in the garage door business, I always sit there and tell them about our brands. I'm like, and then I describe my company that I work for as the mom and pop version of Publix, because everybody understands Publix, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
so when I say, hey, look, we're the mom and pop version of Publix. We're across the whole state. I mean, we're not no like small town, company. We're a big company that gives back to local schools and everything like that. So and I'm sorry, I'm going to get on the soapbox right now, but when it comes to you, I gotta say, you're very down to earth, and it was great. I had so many people yesterday come up to me and talk about how dedicated you are, and how you were out in there in the rain on Friday. You were out there in the blistering sun all day, trying to get people to realize to come vote for you, and just to come vote in general. To me, it's awesome to see that, because that's what we need from our county commissioners. We need to see them out in the public. We need to see them out actually working hard, not just taking a photo shot of, hey, I'm holding a drill. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
In fact, here you go. I'm holding a drill. Okay, I did something. Like, we don't need that.
I think you and I both understand that actions speak louder than words.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And that's the whole thing. Our citizens do not need another elected official. They need a citizen leader. They need a servant leader. They need someone they can stop in Publix and say, hey, I'm having this issue. Can you come by and look at that?
Yes.
And if I can't necessarily fix it, I definitely can figure out who we get to fix it. And that's why when I started running, I never gave any of my volunteers a script to read or anything like that. I just said, ask anybody I've worked with in the last 16 years, because I know that the actions speak louder than words, that my reputation is going to be one of servant leadership, because I feel like beyond everything, that's what our citizens need.
I totally agree. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I heard this from a gentleman. I won't say his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he told me, if you don't know the answer to a question, you go do your research, and you will call that person back up and you will tell them that answer. Like, that right there is what we need. Like, listen, I have no dog in the fight. I'm always about the people, and we, the people of this county, we need elected officials like you who actually are for the people. Like I had John Frumston on a couple weeks ago, and listen, we need somebody like him in the school district that is going to speak up for the little people like me. I know I'm not little, but you get the point. So, I mean, we need people like y'all that can actually speak for, the common person, because some of our elected officials, I feel like, have been in that spot a little bit too long, or have been are they're just not common folks like us, and they don't see it eye to eye with our views. And to me, that's worrisome because I just don't like, to me personally, I don't like people that have their pockets lined and everything like that. And that's the reason why, I had you on, I had John on, because your guys' pockets are clean.
Hey,
And I know that because you guys talk to us like human beings. You don't just see us as, uh just as a number of for a vote. So
no, not at
uh
all. And when you go back to, you use the word dumbing down the budget, but really what I feel like is that's respect. Like
mhm,
walking somebody through something, and maybe that's just the educator in me, but you pick up everybody where they are and you bring them to where they need to be. And no matter how you do that. So I don't feel like it was dumbing down at all. I feel like that's being respectful, helping people see whatever it is that they want to see. But
mhm.
you're right about, that's another thing, is we're a two paycheck family, a teacher and a plumber. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so proud that I'll never have as much money as my competitor. But what I'm proud of is all of that money came from workforce people and retired people and families who, when they gave us $5, that was a big deal for them. They were
Yeah.
investing in their future. And that just moved me beyond words, that somebody was willing to invest in me to be able to look out for them. So, I just think that that's really important, that we keep focus on why we're here and what we need.
And I feel like that's another thing. Like, I feel like sometimes the focus isn't on what the people want, it's what people that have more money than a lot of us combined, it's what they want. And to me, that's not how it should go. It should go what we want, as the people that are paying for the roads to get redone, paying for certain things, because we're being taxed.
Mhm.
Some of those people, they're doing a job, they're developing, and then they're on to the next project. They're not even living here. And if they do live here, then they obviously are not living amongst the people, because I can tell you right now, they're probably a little bit out there when it comes to their opinions and stuff. I just wanted to let you know, Jamie Chansey said, two great people. Joe Macias said her family is great. She has my vote. When I lost my dad and lost my job, Tim gave me a job and was there for me. He didn't even know me and took me under his wing and showed me his trade. Herndon could be a great name for the future of citrus.
I
So
That's all we ever, I was explaining to somebody said, why, because we were talking about the things that my husband and I have done. Sorry, cat just jumped across. Um, that's what we get for being live.
right.
So somebody was asking me about why my husband and I do what we do.
Mhm.
And I said, because you only get one life to live. And I feel like we weren't put here just to sit here. Like, if I'm not going to make it better than I found it, I think that's from 13 years of scouts, with our kids, bringing them from Cub Scouts all the way through Eagles. We kept the same group of boys all the way through.
All the way
And
through. That's
yes,
awesome.
it was extraordinary, to watch those young men come into their own from when they were little guys. But it's just our job to make it better than we found it. And when you
Mm.
have the ability to do that, I used to tell fifth graders at Floral City Elementary, I ran student government, and I'd say, if you have the ability to make something better, it's your duty as a citizen to do that. And
Mhm.
wouldn't you know, a parent called me out on it and said, have you ever thought about running for office because you told my kid this? And I was like, yes, I remember. So I appreciate those people's comments, but you just do good because it's what we're supposed to do. And um,
Exactly.
there is,
Exactly.
I've met more people in 6 months than I've met in 35 years. I wouldn't trade this for anything. The good, bad, and the ugly that goes with politics. but I am a better person and I'm going to be able to serve our community better from all of the people I've met through this campaign.
Um, oh, good evening, RJ. I have to recognize you. I don't want to get yelled at.
Okay.
So good evening. He said good evening to us. So like, and that, you know, to me, like, again, that's the reason why I coached youth, and I had a parent send me a couple of pictures of, two of the seniors that I coached, when they were like little kids. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I kind of had a little emotional thing, and I'm trying not to do it right now too, on camera. But it was so crazy, because it's like, how are they seniors already? That was like, it seemed like a few years ago, and now all of a sudden they're seniors, and they look like grown men. And when we were at the event yesterday for Uppercuts, the back to school event that Josh White was hosting, and I got a shout out to them. Fantastic job.
It was incredible.
It was so cool, so cool. Heather had a tent next to my work tent, and she's obviously a lot of people know who Heather Endigas is. She's running for seat 2 for CCCFC. I think I got it right. She'll probably correct me later that I screwed that up somehow. But go vote for her. She had like half the football team in her over by her tent, because
she had Nerf guns.
They had the Nerf guns. I mean, it was just awesome. It was just an awesome event. And to me, she couldn't believe how some of these, she didn't even recognize Josh's son, because she's like, oh my goodness, he's grown so much since the last time we've seen him. And it's and like you said, I'm here on this planet, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do my podcast, is because it's just, I want to give back. I'm no spring chicken, so I can't be out there for 10 hours, 12 hours a day on Saturdays, when I was with Storm. I can't devote my time like that. I got a family, and they're about to fly to Coop soon. They only got a couple more good years, and then they're off on their own. And to me, I just I in general love giving back. And one of the best things that we did was yesterday. That was giving back to the community, and it was so great. And Josh has been my barber since before he even had a shop. So like I gotta say, I think it's awesome, because I saw you out there just amongst the people, and it's just so great. And it's just fresh. It's just fresh air, like it's just something awesome that's happening. And I feel like a lot of people they should go vote for you before August 18th and on August 18th. That way you guys, vote for Holly, because we need changes. And I feel like you're going to make a big impact on that. So,
and I'll tell you, we need everybody to vote. Really what you're deciding on, and this is how I explain it best to people. If you are happy with the way things are in Citrus, like you look around and say, this is exactly how I want it to be, you want to stay with the incumbent. If you look around and say, this is not where we want to be, then I'm your person. So, but that vote, every single vote, if you ever want to know if your vote was going to count, this is the election that it's going to count in. On a side note, just so you know, I met a family in the parking lot when I was leaving yesterday. Yes. She has 6 kids. She was a little emotional, which is why I stopped, because I was worried that something was happening with her. So I just stopped and said, are you okay? And she said, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. She said, I never would have been able to get my kids these supplies if it wasn't for this event. She was so worked up because they didn't have the money to get haircuts, get backpacks, get all the school supplies. And she said that event made her feel like a real mom. So I just wanted you to pass that on to your your group, because it's making a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Josh started a trend in this county for the barbershops to do all this back to school drives and stuff like that. And man, he just hit it out of the park. Him and his crew, and he had a salon team up with him, so they were able to do girl haircuts too, and do styles and all that stuff. It was so awesome. It was just amazing. We had all those companies out there, Mike Curry's roofing out there, Curry's roofing out there. We had all these companies out there. We had that guy that was making balloon animals.
Yes.
He was making fishing rods and aliens and everything. It was just so cool. I mean, it was just such a good event, and there was like, and we had a majority of our football team out there giving back and everything, and doing community service hours, and just the amount of people that were just trying to help. And you had the inflatables out there and all that stuff. It was just awesome. And that's what I love about Citrus County. And everything. Yes, RJ, I'm glad you corrected me instead of Heather. It's Citrus County Community Charitable
Foundation. Yeah.
Yes, I know I screwed it up somehow. Thank you, though. Thank you.
And you talk about community. I was at the Beverly Hills library all day today at the polling, answering voter questions and things. And a gentleman's car broke down, and you could see him. He's got his wife trying to steer it. He's trying to push it. Immediately, 2 other cars pulled over, helped him push it out of the intersection. Another car pulled over. It turned out the gentleman had run out of gas. Somebody took him and his wife up to the gas station, paid for gas, got a can, and got them back on the road. That is who we are. That's our community. And that's something that we need to make sure that we don't lose.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what we don't need to lose that, and everything. Now I got a question for you. Because I got a lot of questions, but the one question, because it got brought to my attention by Heather. She saw a lady posting on Facebook, and it was about like the twisted arts, and what can we do better on trying to get more theater and just art performancing and stuff like that. What can we do to help a place like Twisted Arts and all those other places that are trying to get kids off the streets with and off Facebook and off social media and actually do something? What can we do to help support them better?
So 2 things. So I love Twisted Arts. I was a theater kid myself. My husband and I got in early with Alicia and Danny and their program to support them, and we've been constant supporters because they are making a huge difference in the community for kids. It's really coming together and building a network with each other. Everybody's doing all of these incredible things, but we can't stay in silos. We have to build on. Do you remember, probably you growing up too? I remember when I was growing up, people looked out for us. It wasn't just our parents. Our neighbors were looking out for us. Other people would correct you. They corrected my children.
Yes.
I loved that because everybody was investing in each other's kids. And part of what we need to do as a community is make sure we're all linked up together, that we're promoting each other's programs. So for instance, if the Beldens see a kid who's more mechanically inclined, they'll send them our way to our engineering program. When we see kids who may enjoy the arts, we send them that way. But you and I talked about at the beginning of this conversation, small businesses are the ones who are supporting these type of programs. So we need to get the word out too and help businesses become involved in the programs that they're passionate about. It's always time, talent, and treasure. So you may want to donate money, you may want to donate time, you may want to be an instructor for them, but it's all of us working together and creating connectivity for that. Because there's great programs here. We just have to make sure that they're accessible and they're well known.
Yes. and to me, like, that's the other thing, like, trying to support the local youth programs and everything. I love all of them, Little League, all of them. It's just, my thing is we need more support from the higher ups, basically. Because, like, I understand it's like, oh, well, we need to worry about the adults because they're the ones that vote. Well, young people vote too, that have kids that are going to be elderly people down the road
But
that are going to be part of this,
the decisions we make are for the people of today, but they're for the people of tomorrow. Like,
Yes.
we go back to leave it better than you found it. We
Mhm.
want to grow the next set of leaders.
Mhm.
That's the thing about succession planning. Like, you don't make it just good for yourself. You make sure it's going to be good for everybody down the line. So looking at Family Resource Center, like when a family goes in there to get support, them knowing about all the other organizations, your sports programs, different programs around the county, it's important that we're all working together to make sure we're I see it as a net, casting a net. But you're right, our local officials being there need to be the models of that.
Yes. Now let me ask you this: what's your take on getting us a sports complex, helping us get a sports complex, because we are desperately needing one. I feel like we're desperately needing one. We are behind in the times when it comes to Parks and Rec, and I feel like we need a sports complex, like, I don't know, 5 years ago.
You are absolutely right. Now, I will tell you, I don't know where the money's going to come from. I want to be forthright about that. I haven't found a
Okay.
pocket of money sitting there for that. However, nothing is undoable, not figure outable. I do agree with you 100% on needing one. So growing up with two kids of my own, mine are 19 and 22 now, we traveled for different sports and band things and all of that. And it boosted the economy wherever we were. So when we go back to talking about diversifying the economy, a sports complex would do that as well. If we could have tournaments here, we now have
Yes.
people who are staying here. We have people frequenting
Yes.
our restaurants. We have people
Yes.
shopping. I can't tell you how much money I spent when we traveled for different events. So that sports complex is not only going to benefit our local kids, it's also going to benefit our local economy.
Mm-hmm. So that means you are supportive of that. So go out and vote for her.
I absolutely don't believe in election promises or empty
I know.
promises.
I'm not asking you
So,
for a promise. I just
do we
want you to
need
be our
one?
voice.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and it's going to help us in a multitude of ways. Just figuring out the funding on it, that might be something we write an appropriation grants for.
Mhm.
It's not undoable.
Yes. I feel like we can make it happen. I mean, Marion County, they have it happen. To me, we need to make it happen, like I said 5 years ago. We need to make it happen, like, today. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm hoping when you do get in, you can help us get that process going. I understand we got to try to find the funds, but I feel like this county always seems to come together when it comes
Yes,
to
they
great
do.
things. And I'm going to tell you right now, this would be a great thing. And like you said, you would have people coming to travel. You would have tournaments, multiple tournaments, not just one or two a year. You would have multiple tournaments, and you would have places to actually park and not park on outside the park area. You know what I mean? Like, our parks are so small that they can't host tournaments, big giant tournaments, because there's not enough parking. There's not enough space.
And
I feel like this,
we've seen the success with this model already. If you look at Dragon Boat, how much it stimulates the economy when Dragon Boat is in town. Like, we
yes,
already know that this is going to work. So literally, It is just, it's either on local funding, it's grant funding, it's appropriations, or it's in our budget. But
Mhm.
that's literally the only thing is figuring out the money and making it happen.
Yep. Was it Joe Macias? So he's asking, he's like, it's football season. He goes, who does she think is going to win the Super Bowl and the national championship and the Citrus County champs?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I am having trouble staying on what day it is right now. So
Joe, she would answer that if she wasn't too busy, trying to get voters, man. Like, she's out there, rain, shine.
yes,
There could have been a blizzard and she would have been out there holding the sign.
because I feel like a vote is someone's, and again, I know I go back to old school values, but that's just who I am. A vote is so important. That's somebody's voice. They only get one of those. So for them to spend it on me, like, I have to earn that. So yes, I'm out there in the rain and I'm out there in the blistering heat and the ant bites and all of that, because
yes.
they need to know that that vote they're spending is well spent.
Mm-hmm. He asked, "What's your favorite tailgate food?" He's trying to hijack this show here.
Definitely is always meatballs.
Okay, all right. Do you put jelly in them?
Yes, the grape jelly ones.
Okay, yep, grape jelly.
Or
ones.
sweet and
Okay.
sour. Like, you can't go wrong with meatballs.
No, you can't. You can't. That's a good snack. That's a good snack to snag on.
I hope he feels fulfilled.
He's been coming. He says if taxpayers are paid, if taxes are paid, it should go towards the future, and that's our kids. A place for them to go play basketball, not in the heat of Florida, and place them to work out. So basically, so for instance, like Hudson has a sports complex. They got multiple soccer fields. They got a football field. They have a indoor basketball facility. They have a swim. They have a outdoor pool, indoor pool. They have baseball fields and everything like that. We need something like that, and I feel like that's what a lot of people will say. And obviously, we already hit on that. So, trying to think. A couple other things. How do we make sure our water environment like stays nature friendly and stuff? Because I see what happens, like I said, I grew up in Hernando County and everything. So I see what happens, what's happening with the Wekiwachi River and everything, and how it's not as clear as it once was. How do we make sure our waterways, and how do we make sure our nature on that side stays nature like?
Yes. So I gotta tell you, I don't think growing up here, I didn't really understand how wonderful of a place it was. I was the first graduate out of the Academy of Environmental Science. Okay. When I went out there in 1999, it was just me and a teacher my sophomore year. Absolutely extraordinary. But we were out on the water every day, and I remember the crystal clear and the mangroves and learning about how all those pieces go together. But I also learned how important our septic systems are, and what our septic systems, when they're leaching, where that goes, and the pesticides and things that you put out on the top. We had a model there. Ernie Olson is absolutely amazing at the Marine Science Station. And
shout out Ernie.
Yes. He's all about educating, and that's what I love so much about him. But he's one of those guys that does it in a way that meets you where you are. So he showed us, when you put those droplets in the top, we got to see how they percolated down into the aquifer and then could travel miles. And that's what we're seeing. That's why septic to sewer projects are so important. The other thing is managing our pesticides and the things we're using on the topsoil, not pouring things, because everything you pour into the ground is going down and it's coming back out somewhere. Even pieces, the importance of our landfill and making sure those liners are where they need to be, that we're double lining those and things aren't leaching. and also fighting things that we know are going to cause us, like deep well injections. We don't want those kind of things. So we have to be proactive, because what we know about our waterways is that once you ruin them, it's very hard to get them back to where they need to be. The other part of that is development. We only have so much water in the aquifer, and if we keep putting high density areas in with lots of houses, they just keep pulling from the aquifer, which creates pockets, which leads to sinkholes. I know just in Floral City, I have neighbors who already have dry wells. You
Hmm.
know, we go back to people who are struggling. You now have a dry well, you have no water, and that savings account you may or may not have is now trying to put a new well in. So the water is going to be human factors. Yes, we can put ordinances in, but it's also about the education piece and really helping people understand what they can do, what they can't do, and how it affects things.
Hmm.
Because I know, like, go back to Ernie Olson, but when he showed people that, whether they're adults or kids, you all of a sudden think about anything you're about to dump in the ground, you're like, oh, it's going to go down and go
Hmm.
all the way out to the waterways. So, really a double thing there. It's about education, but it's also about us doing projects like septic to sewer to protect the environment. Because once we lose the nature coast, we're not going to get another chance to fix it.
No, once it's gone, it's gone. I don't
It's
feel like we can put that genie back in the bottle, and I feel like
and
we need to make sure we reserve it for future, for our kids and our grandkids, and like their kids, because to me that's what's important. Uh, why we're winding down, because I'll go ahead and I'll ask a couple more questions about the campaign and stuff, and then we'll get into I like to talk about food, so we'll talk a little bit about food, and then I'll ask you my question that I always ask everybody at the end. So 4 years from now, what would you want to happen when you look back and say, I did what the voters elected me to do? Like, what is a couple things that you're
okay.
hoping to, look back and say, I did that. I helped do that.
So, and I've already, so the thing about working at the school district is one of
Mhm.
my jobs was to do 3 to 5 year plans. So
Yes.
somebody would tell me what they wanted the end result to be, and it was my job to work backwards and build the plan out for that. So I
Okay.
have already clearly thought 4 years ahead.
Yes.
And what I want is you as a voter in 4 years, when it comes reelection time, I'm going to have a beautiful dashboard, and it's going to have all of our things. It's going to have the budget, transparency, tax money, homelessness, affordable housing, economic diversity. And I will be able to show you how I've moved the needle on every single one of those. Because if I can't do that, I have no business being in that position. If I'm
Hmm.
not going to follow through, if you can't be able to follow me moving the needle on all of these things, then that's not what our elected officials are for. They're there to move the needle on these pieces. So, will we have everything perfect in 4 years? That's unrealistic. But should we have moved the needle towards all of those things? Absolutely. And remember, I told you before, when you make a Venn diagram of all of our concerns in Citrus County, they
Yes.
they lean into each other. So as we're working on career development, we should also be working on affordable housing that works into homelessness, that works into economic diversity and our future for our kids. And we have the budget in there as well, different pieces, but those we should be moving in a direction of sustainability. My 4 years is not isolated to 4 years. As a good commissioner and a good leader, it is for me to make sure that I'm setting the stage for the people behind me too, that I'm building a strong foundation. And it's the citizens who drive that, where they're at, because the citizens' voices are the ones who decide where we need to be and what they're wanting to happen.
Hmm. Michael Bartoli said, he asked, who sets the bar?
So the
uh,
people set the bar.
there you
Um,
go.
that's this is not, you're not there for you. This is not about what I want. I mean, I live here. I want a good quality of life. I want my grandkids to be here and to succeed here. But this is about our people as a whole.
Okay. Joe Messia says this is why we need to not just protect the environment, but to stop these builders, stop making cookie cutter homes in our county. We can't stop people moving into Florida, but we can stop homes being built with no buyer, homes being built and being overgrown because there is no buyer. I mean,
Right. Well,
Joe, you're right. I mean, Joe, you're right about it. But I mean, we kind of need homes for, people that want to, commute from their jobs. And, it goes in hand, right?
but we also need to hold developers accountable for what they're building.
Yes.
If it's going to be workforce housing, then there has to be very strict stipulations on what that is and how much it is. We need to also look outside the box. Look at how many empty commercial buildings we have in Citrus County. How are we utilizing those spaces? Because other counties, we are not facing these issues alone. Other counties are facing these issues too. And some have come up with greatly unique ways to incentivize using old buildings. So those are things that we need to absolutely look at. As far as development, I agree with him. We have 53,000 lots that are already ready to be built on. And I don't think 100% of those are ever going to be all the way built on, but we have to think as if they were. Then you're adding developments on top of it. So I do agree with him. Whatever development we have needs to be purposeful. It needs to not just be putting more houses for the sake of putting more houses.
So let me ask you this then. Would you support like impact fees or requiring developers to shoulder more of this cost, like the cost, because because of new developers, like why would you want to do that? So
okay,
explain.
So in 2011 we had concurrency, and that's when growth paid for growth is really what it worked out to. And that the commission at that time got rid of concurrency. And now we're in a spot where developers are not paying their fair share of things. And the contracts that we have to make sure that those contracts are mutually beneficial to both parties. What are they paying for? What are we getting? It's not that we don't want somebody to make a profit, but we need to make sure that it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And too many times I've seen in the original contracts that there's going to be workforce housing or affordable housing. The developer says that, they get a zoning change, and then they sell it to a builder who's not bound by that at all. So then we go back to, now we have homes that are high value homes that our workforce can't move into.
Yeah.
So part of that is contracting. Another piece I did for the district was going through contracts and making sure that we are getting exactly, that we know what we're getting and that we're holding people accountable.
Yeah. Wow, the group chat is like the comments are coming in.
Okay.
So I'm trying. Michael Bartoli showed up late, but he said, what matters to you the most? What do you think your number one thing is that you must be addressed today? That's a good question, Michael.
It is a good question. So number one thing is going to be working with the county administrator to make sure that we're all on the same page, because the county commission only hires two people, the attorney and the county administrator. The county administrator is the one who is supposed to oversee all the departments from there. When you're running a business or any organization, you need to make sure everybody has the same goal in mind. And that's something that we need to make sure we're on the same page about, that I don't feel is there right now. So that would be my number one thing. The county needs to, when we go back to that permitting, why is it not being successful? We have great employees. Like, we have amazing employees. So then you go, okay, it's not the employees. So is the system not working? Is the process not working? Like, what is falling
Do
apart
we
there?
need to hire more people? Do
Do
we?
we, or
And
when
I don't know.
we look at staffing, because we don't want to just go to hiring more people. We want to make sure that the processes are working with
Yes.
the people that we have.
Hmm.
We also want to look at, are people close to retirement? Because that goes into the budgeting too with staffing. When
Yes.
somebody says it's not about letting people go to bring the budget down, it's about who do we have coming up on retirement? Do we need to fill that position? Are there a few positions that are overlapping each other that
Hmm.
are doing the same jobs? All those pieces need to be looked at. And I know it sounds tedious, but I can promise you that running an organization, you have to get all the way down to the bottom and then work back up from there.
Okay. RJ says, talk about Alice and what we can do for the working. Over 50% of our community failed with this category.
Okay. So RJ is absolutely right. We have a lot of families in Alice. Now his organization is doing a lot of work, but what I've found is going back into this is again about, do they have job opportunities? Do they have housing opportunities? And what kind of systems do we have in place to help them? It's very much about a hand up, not a hand out, and helping people get through barriers. So I was volunteering at the Floral City Methodist Church. Um, it was supposed to be for homeless breakfasts, but a lot of seniors were coming in who were on fixed incomes. And when I sat and talked with them, it was usually just a barrier that was blocking them from getting where they wanted to go. So, for instance, we had two parents, two kids that came in. Both parents are working 40-hour-a-week jobs in the
Mhm.
service industry. They're doing everything they know to do. They're still homeless because they can't afford to get a place. Figuring out ways, we kind of had this mindset of like, oh, well, they just have an apartment, or they just need to have a house, but we're not looking outside the box at other opportunities on how do we get people in a transition where they need to go.
Mhm.
And it's also about opportunity. We need to provide them, again, we go back to having jobs that they can make a living on, but also having housing that they can work that job to be able to live in. So
Yes.
to help our families, this is going to be a multifaceted, thing.
Yes. Um, RJ says the difference between workforce housing and affordable housing.
And
Huge difference. Huge difference. And then Michael Bartoli says, shouldn't the new homes get hit with the impact fees only? I mean, I agree with you, Michael, but I mean, what do you think, Ollie?
it's usually the new houses that get hit with the impact fees. The problem with the impact fees is some people think, oh, well, the developer's having to pay for it, but the developer's just passing it down to the homeowner.
Yep.
So it's not really the developer paying for it. It's them telling you that your house now costs this much more and you're stuck
Mhm.
paying for it. So that's not really the growth paying for growth model.
No.
Um, I just think we need to look at that because I don't want more burden on the resident who's trying to get ahead. And RJ's right. There is a big difference between workforce housing and affordable
Yes, there is.
housing.
Holly, I messaged you. I didn't know if you wanted to turn on a light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop you while you were talking. I was like, I was like, she's gonna be talking in the dark here. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
I didn't realize the sun went down.
Yeah,
We've been on a little while.
It went by fast.
Yeah.
So, now, with that being said, what I'm not asking you to speak bad about anybody else. I'm just asking you what separates you from your two competitors.
Okay. And I will say, you'll never hear me speak badly because I've been very proud to run a positive campaign. I was told that you could not win with a positive campaign, but I believe that's what our people need. Um,
Yes, we do.
so we just don't need the same. The biggest thing about this year is we don't need politics as usual. We need
Mhm.
something different. We don't need just
Yes.
another politician. We need a servant leader. And I tell a lot of people there are good leaders, but there's different leaders for different times in our life. And I
Mhm.
feel like I'm the person we need to put things back together, because not
Yes.
only do I have the organizational knowledge, I know how to run businesses. I've worked in the private sector, the public sector, the nonprofit sector. Programs that I have built, I'm extremely proud of. I'm actually working on a video because I had a lady ask me that today. She said, "What have you built on your own that you didn't just say a team did it and took credit for it? What did you actually put the sweat and work into?" And I'm
Yes.
very proud that there's been quite a few of those. So um, I'm working on that. But um, so I love data. And the reason I love
Mhm.
data so much is because it's non emotional. And when I go through the incumbent's voting record, she is steadfast. She doesn't waver. You know what you're going to get out of the incumbent. So,
Yes.
what our voters get from the incumbent is they already get to foresee the next 4 years, because that's a quality of hers is she doesn't waver. So, you actually get to fast forward 4 years. So that's why I tell people, if you like what you have right now, then you want to keep her. If you don't like the way we're going right now, then you'll want me. Now we have a third competitor
Mhm.
in this race. I think she is a wonderful hearted woman. I think she does great things for our community. Um, I don't know. I don't have a voting record there to pull from. Um, so I don't know what
No,
I think.
it's okay.
Um,
Now
yeah,
listen, I can tell you right now, and I'm not speaking for you. I'll speak from my point of view, because I met both of them. Nice, lovely ladies. But I felt like I had more of a down earth conversation with you multiple times. You're always willing to shake hands and talk to people for, not just a hi bye type of
no,
conversation. You
I
know what I
probably
mean?
talk too much.
No, 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 because I'm gonna tell you right now, I definitely talk too much. Just ask my kids, ask Heather, whenever you get a chance, because that's all they do is say I talk too much. Well, this is the reason why I'm doing a podcast, is because I talk a lot. So when it comes to separating you from them, just from from a voter's point of view, I feel like you are who the people want. You're like I told John, Frumston, I was like, you're the people's champ. You're the people's champ too. Like, you are the people's champ because the fact being that you're speaking for the people. You are concerned about our well-being.
Mhm,
You're
I
not
am.
you're not worried about you're not trying to do dirty tactics and everything like that. Now, I'm gonna say this, like, and I don't try to speak bad about anybody, unless it's warranted. Okay. And I don't like some of the games uh that I see, and this is the reason why I don't like politics in a lot of ways, because it tries to make good people into bad people, and there's bad people that obviously want to be bad. They like they're just they do anything to get a vote, and that's the thing that drives me nuts. um I really hope everybody goes out and votes for you, because you deserve it. I mean, for a person that stands out there in the sun, I mean, it was like, oh, it felt like 102 degrees out
It
today.
was,
You know, it was
was
hot. Like,
yeah,
my
I'm,
cooler, my cooler in the back of my car, the top was hot, and I was like, how? Like, how's it hot? Like, you know what I
but
mean?
like I said, it's just I don't expect anything for nothing. Like I am going to work my tail feathers off for our people because they are so past due for a servant leader. Like I'm
Yes.
I'm having trouble going to politician because it has such a negative connotation. to it. They just need somebody who's going to be in their corner, and that's all I want for them. And
Yes.
I have the talent, I have the ability and the experience to be able to bring that to the table.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you right now, you may be a doctor, okay? All right, but you don't act like a doctor, because
No.
normally a doctor will go ahead and visit their patient for maybe 10 minutes. All right, you will visit everybody as much time as they need to actually talk to you and tell them your concerns, and that's what makes you so much different. My head coach for varsity, Wes Wyatt, says built different, and I gotta say you are definitely built different when it comes to the other folks, because you're listening, you're actually listening, and actually going to, I think, make an impact in so many good ways. And I really hope everybody goes out and votes for you, because I want to see it. I feel like you've put in the hours, you've put in the time. Some people say, hey, you need to do more mail-in things, or do all this or do all that. No, you're beating to your own drum, because you are clearly a people's champ when it
We
comes to this.
I
Okay.
I appreciate that. We chose to do this different. I didn't take developer money. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
take builder money. I knew it was going to be harder to do it this way, but
Yes.
where I didn't have the money is where we put in the legwork. We've been doing door to doors every day, making calls, meeting with people, doing house parties. Any person who's wanted to meet with me, I've met with them, because I just wanted to be there. I'm not going to have the most signs, but I wanted it to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're so past politics as usual. Um,
Yes.
and in the educational system, it was always about bringing all stakeholders to the table. I had to take care of kids, I had to take care of their parents, I had to take care of my staff. When I worked at the district office, I had multiple schools to take care of, and you're bringing everybody to the table to get to a common goal. I learned a long time ago, you know your own weaknesses and you find people smarter than you, and that's who you sit at the table with, because that's how you get things done.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know if the old school honor and valor and loyalty, I don't know if it's going to be enough, but this is my home, and this is where we've chosen to make the community better. And we just wanted to run a campaign that was reflective of that.
And I'm gonna say this too. I feel like you have the right mindset. You're trying to do you value trade schools. Um, Trade schools are very important. Folks, please understand, if they don't want to go to college, let them go to trade school. Trade schools is great to learn a trade. In fact, you're not going to wind up in student debt and all that other good jazz that some people don't explain very well to kids, and how it doesn't actually go away. You actually have to pay it off. um, and then the other thing too is I feel like, to me, um, if we keep on doing the same old, we're gonna get the same results, right? Every time. That's a form of insanity, right? So to me, like, when it comes to voting for you, it's something different, because it's the people talking, because they have a person that's talking for them, because you actually did the research. You have actually realized, hey, the answers to the test are the people,
Yes.
and to
Yes.
me, it's that simple. Joe Macias said, we need a people's champ. We need someone for a future. Our future is our kids. We want them to leave, and if they do, I want them to come back, because this is home. And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you're right, Joe. It is home and everything like that. His oldest son says he wants to be the mayor of Inverness one day. That'd be cool. But like I said, I love this community, and I'm very, very happy to continue trying to make an impact and everything like that. And I hope you're one of our leaders and everything like that. And to me, that's just my opinion, nobody else's opinion. So we'll get into food now. All right.
Okay.
Name me like 3 of your top mom and pop places around here that you like to go to.
Okay. So the diner in Floral City is my number one.
All right.
I gotta tell you, it's not always the food though. When you walk in that place, if you've never been in the diner, it's like walking into Cheers. Like everybody knows everybody, and even though the restaurant has separate tables, everybody talks to everybody. It's incredible.
Yes.
My next place is Joe's out on 41.
Okay.
Really, again, atmosphere. I think atmosphere for me is so much more than good food is good food, but
Yes.
being in a place that feels like home, that feels like community, that means a lot to me. Third place. Oh goodness. Ooh, that's a tough one.
So I'll tell you a couple of mine. Reds,
Yes, Reds
Seafood Cellar, Augie's Cafe and Deli over there off of Pine Ridge and El Cam. Where everything tastes like home. And was it? I like Lollygaggers. I shout out to Lollygaggers. I always love their garbage wings. Love Miss Brenda and everything. And just love places like that, like neighborhood pizza, Angelotti's.
Yes.
Those, just to name a few. Those are the places that I like supporting. I like supporting those places. There's a couple food chains that I will support. Like Steve Day that runs Glory Days in Lecanto.
He's a huge community supporter.
He is always giving back. Shout out to
Texas Roadhouse.
Station. Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, those great people. I met the I can't even remember her name from yesterday, but she was so awesome. They donated food. Those ribs, I don't know if you got to try them or not, but my goodness, those ribs were so good. I was like, a lot of them football players were so happy that they got to eat those ribs. So
have you been to one of Augie's food tasting events?
I have been I've been there a lot. In fact, I think Michael might trespass me if I ever show back up there, because I go there a lot. I haven't been able to go a lot lately because I've been busy with work and I'm coaching. So it's but all the sandwiches are great. The BLT I think is one of his best sandwiches, and it's just a BLT. It's something that you can make at home, but it tastes so good.
So a couple months back, I got invited to a pizza tasting.
Yes.
I've never been to anything like it in my life. And when you have a business owner come out like that and say, listen, I want you to be very honest. I want to know what's working and what's not working. And that just blew my mind because he cared about making the best product for his community.
He is a pillar of this community. He used to run a couple of Papa John's places, was always supportive of when I used to run Inverness Storm and all of the schools, all that stuff. He used to help out a lot, and he still does. He's just he's not at Papa John's anymore. He is running his own thing, and to me, eventually hopefully he gets his pizza place open, and that way we can talk about that more and everything. But he is such a hard worker and such a great person. Always has the heart of gold. I'm glad he's probably not listening right now, because otherwise he'd probably shed a tear or whatever. I dressed up like Santa Claus for him for his Christmas event at the deli, at the Cafe Deli place and everything. And to me, being FaceTiming his son Augie was a very cool thing to do, and I know it tugged at his heartstrings and everything like that. And that's just me though, trying to give back. And that's the reason why we need people more like you and him and other people like Josh White and RJ and all these folks that like to give back to our community. That's what makes Citrus County so special. You know,
Mhm.
Will Wilson always says it, and I'm gonna steal his thunder on this because he's always saying, you know, this is the greatest. This is like the greatest county in the world, and it is. It is. It's so awesome. You know, and I love it. You know, and I love giving back and love supporting the local you know, food, the mom and pop places. That's the reason why. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast and everything. Now, let me ask you this: what if, like, let's say you were on an island and everything, and you had to eat one thing for a whole year? What would it be?
Whole year. Meatballs.
Okay.
It would be the meatballs. I have always
From
loved
anywhere
meatballs.
or homemade? It's got to be homemade.
No, I'm pretty open to all sorts of, like, I could do a whole buffet of just meatballs,
Okay. All
but
right.
I love salad too. You know what I noticed though? My places were, I love diners, like, because I was
Yes.
thinking about Robin's Diner too.
Mhm.
I'm definitely a breakfast girl. You said more of lunch or dinner places.
No, I listen. I love some breakfast places, but like
Okay.
I'm a little. Listen, I'm a little stingy on the breakfast places. Like Reds, you have to be. You get so full that they got to wheelbarrow you out of
Yes.
there
Oh,
because, and if you ain't full from eating there, like you're doing something wrong.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Shane and Tara and all them, they're great people. I love them. The Def, they, you know, Burger Station is amazing.
Mhm.
And you know, I'm very picky when it comes to breakfast. I can tell you that right now. There's, you know, I like Florida Cracker Kitchen in Brooksville and stuff. Love them. Blair used to be my athletic trainer when I went to Central High School in Brooksville. So, you know, I've known him for years. I just, you know, I mean, Pudgy's. You didn't. I noticed, you know,
Oh, yes.
Florida City always talks about. If you're from
Yes.
Florida City, you talk about Pudgy's and,
Veggies. Yes.
you know, Shamrocks. You know, I know it's not the same. Shamrock Inn. I know it's not the same. They changed it up because Blair ended up buying it, but
Have you been to the train station in Inverness?
I have not. I've been there, but I have not eaten there.
Okay, they're flatbreads.
Okay.
The
All right.
pizzas. Their
I'll have to
pizzas
check.
are.
I have to check them out.
And two
Let's.
guys from Italy. I was there a couple months ago. The
Mhm.
service was absolutely extraordinary, and I felt like everything, the food, the service, everything was good.
Yes. Let's see what else. Hen
Oh,
House
Chicken
and
King.
Mama.
Yes.
Yep. Chicken
Mama's.
King. Yep. Mama's. Yep. And Chicken King. Yep.
See,
I
there's too
totally agree.
many.
Yes. No, I mean, look, you can't listen. You got to support them all, but you got to like pick and choose when you got to go. I ran into a customer. I had a customer of mine, and they have a little group of you know, wives and husbands, and they all pick. Each one of them gets to pick a place every Friday. They go out for dinner. They always pick a place, right? And they'll pick a place, but you can't pick the same place. You have to try. You have to. It has to be a mom and pop place. So I think that's really cool. You know, eventually I'm doing a chicken wing crawl because I see my buddy Jeff who does a pizza crawl all the time. I'm gonna try to do a wing crawl. I don't think we're gonna make it to two places because once we go to the first place, I don't Pizza Joe's down in Palm Harbor. I don't think anybody else is gonna want to do chicken wings anywhere else. So just my opinion on that. But
So can that be part of your show, like traveling around to restaurants?
so here's the thing. I need a videographer because I asked my twin boys who are homeschooled and they're 16 now, but I asked them if they can be my videographer and they have no interest in that. They don't care about dad talking about food because they get it. They already hear me talk about food and I was like, Really? I was like, you can't help me out here.
So I'm gonna connect you up. I'll send you. I had a wonderful young man. He is a local junior, and he's studying photography and videography, and he was
Okay.
working on my campaign, building his resume. So I think
Okay. Yeah.
uh,
Let me
I
know.
love youth who are trying to get real
Mhm.
world experiences.
Yes. Yes. It's great. And so with that being said, tell everybody where to follow you, when to go vote, all that stuff, and then
Okay.
I'll ask you my last question of the night. All right.
I never know what I'm going to get out of you now.
I know.
So as far as following, our website is www.herndonhere, the number 4 citrus.com. Facebook, it's Holli Herndon for Citrus County Commissioner. I'm on there as well. Our email is on our website, phone numbers on our website. I try to make myself as available to people as possible because I believe personal connection is how we get things done. And what was your other? I forgot your other question. Oh, election dates.
Yes.
So
Election.
early voting runs through the 15th. If you go to the Supervisor of Elections website, they have all of the locations. They also have all the precincts for August 18th. Biggest thing that I have had to tell people, your commissioners will be decided in August. None of them are going to November. So your vote has to be in August. All
Yes.
parties can vote because all of your candidates are running on a Republican ticket, which means every single person countywide can vote. The
Mhm.
other thing is, I'm in District 4. You also have a District 2 race running. That is Miss Diana Finnegan against Miss Stacy Worthington.
Mhm.
Everybody votes for everybody. So it doesn't matter what district you live in, every single person is voting district wide in this election. So through
Yes.
the 15th, you can do early voting. That's from 10 to 6. That's where I've been rotating, doing a different place every single day. We have
Mhm.
volunteers that are at all of the places from our campaign because we want to be there for you to answer any questions. Because I
Yes.
told you that vote is so important. I don't expect it from you, I'm earning it from you.
Mhm.
So we've had a lot of people stop and ask questions, and I'm so proud of them for going in there and knowing where their vote's going. And then August 18th is actual election day. So you have, I believe it's 32 precincts are open, and all of that is on the Supervisor of Elections office.
Do you know how late they stay open for the
Early
early
voting
voting?
is 10 to
Yes.
6.
Okay, 10 to 6. And then what is on the 18th? What's the
Election day,
hours?
they'll be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay. All right. So
The supervisor's office has done everything they could to meet people around work schedules.
yes, that sounds awesome. Everybody go out and vote. Please go vote. And if to me, there is no other vote. Vote Holly, damn it. Vote Holly, vote John Rumston, vote some of these people in that will speak for the people. Now my last question to you is name 3 things that you're thankful for.
Uh,
Yeah.
my family,
Okay.
my faith,
Mm-hmm.
and our people. Like this, I got to tell you, there's been people who have asked me the last couple days, "Are you excited that's going to be over?" And I'm having mixed feelings about that because do I want a conclusion to know if I can serve or not? Yes, but this has been extraordinary, and doing it my way, doing it positively, doing it without taking money from anybody I was ever going to owe a favor to, making it about our community. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Meeting more people in 6 months than I've met in 35 years. We live in a place so full of knowledge. We could solve world problems. The people I've met, they're like, yeah, I can tell you how to fix this. I could tell you how to do that. And when I ask, why have you not ever shared it? The most common answer I get is because nobody's wanting to listen. So I have a lot to do, not only on the organizational part, but about healing our community and building trust back and really setting our foundation for generations to come. And for your viewer's son to be mayor one day of
Yes.
Inverness. But the thing about faith is I learned a long time ago to get out of my own way. And I wish I learned it sooner, but
Yes.
we are on the journey we're supposed to be for a reason. There was no doubt I'm supposed to run for county commissioner. I don't know exactly why. Um, I don't know if it's to serve. I don't know if it was the people I was going to meet along the way to serve our community in a different way. But there is no doubt I'm supposed to be here. And I'm thankful for family, because without family, it's interesting though about family. You know this as well as I do. It's not your immediate family, it's all the
You're
family
right.
you gather along the
Yes.
way.
The tribe. You gotta
The
have a good
tribe.
tribe. Yep. And to me, like, that's the thing. Like, I have folks that are part of my life that, are not blood, but I still call them my brother.
Yes.
I still call them my, my second mom, my third mom. I've been very fortunate to have really good people in my life, and I continue to try to surround myself with good people. You mentioned, hey, like you were talking about not being the smartest one in the room. That's what Shaq goes by. Shaq doesn't want to be the smartest man in the room. He wants to be smart, but he also wants to surround himself with good people that are smart and
Yes.
smarter. And that's the good thing about someone like him is you can be very successful if you actually take that and run with it. And to me, I feel like you're doing the right thing by listening to people. You are a smart lady and you are very intelligent. And I feel like you are down to earth and you understand, hey, this is what we need to be. We need to surround ourselves with people that are trying to make an impact. And that's what I like to do. I like to surround myself with a lot of good people. I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm very, very glad to have met you. And I listen. At first, I wasn't thrilled. I'll admit this. I wasn't thrilled about Heather running for. And I know it's a non-political thing, but I just hate politics in general. When my dad calls me up at times and starts rambling on about politics, I'm like, yeah. It is what it is. But what really makes me get into this, and the reason why I have you on and other folks on, and other people are allowed to come on too. I'm not just sitting there like picking my favorites or anything, but I do have my favorites. Uh, to me, I just want people to understand a little bit better, understand about certain things. It just, to me, I feel like that's what people need. They needed a little bit dummy it down, you know, and to understand it better. And if I can help that and make an impact and try to help people understand, hey, look, Holly's one of us. Let's vote one of us in because that's what we need. You know,
I
that
feel like, people always said they just wanted a citizen to stand up, citizen with no ties, no deep family roots here. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
here since I was 7, but I don't have anybody here, somebody that didn't owe anybody. So I'm actually really excited to see that's what the community has said they
Mhm.
wanted, was a citizen to stand
Yes.
up. So
Yes.
I'm excited to see if that's what they still want.
And I'm hoping that's what happens. I hope there's no craziness and everything like that. And I really hope you get it. I really hope, like, the people like you and John and Matt the Welder, Matt Taylor, folks like that. When I talked to Matt Taylor when we went to go see him and stuff like that, the one thing that he did say is he wants to make enough change and then go back to Weldon. And I mean, I gotta say, that's probably what I would do if I got into politics. Is I would try to make an impact and make it a better place than when I found it. And to
Mhm.
me, that's how I do things. I try to go ahead and try to do certain things to make a good impact on people's lives and everything like that. And that's the enjoyment. It's better than getting money. It's better than giving back to the community is so much. it feels so much good on your heart and everything like that.
Yes.
And I feel like that's one thing that we can all agree on is making an impact on our community and giving back to people that don't have a roof over their head all the time and all that. So,
And
Holli,
I do want to,
yes, ma'am.
I do just want to remind, because I didn't think about this until I've met people out in the community who um, didn't necessarily know that voting was occurring in August, but do not assume that your friends know. Like, it is well worth you texting 10 people on your phone and just saying, do you know that there's an election? You don't have to tell them, who to vote for, but
Yes.
letting them know that, hey, there is an election. Don't assume, because I can't tell you how many people said, I'll see you in November.
Mhm.
And with 3 people in a race, when I tell you every vote is going to count, I can't stress that enough. Every single vote will count when you have 3 people in a race. So whatever our community wants, whether it's me or somebody else, all I ask is that you go vote. You make your voice heard, because voting is something that we do as citizens. It's what we're doing for our community. And if you don't vote, you're saying that you're good with
Yeah.
everything.
And if you're good with that, I don't know what to tell you, except maybe you should move.
Well, thank
Because to
you.
me, hey, listen, I gotta say what I gotta say. I mean, Holli's opinions, or my opinions, are not Holli's opinions. Just to let you know, just to let
Yeah.
everybody know. I just feel like we should go vote for you and get you in and get John in, and maybe we'll have a celebration on John's birthday. So hopefully we find out that day, and I wish you the best of luck. I thank you again for coming on the show, and I hope everybody sees this, and I will be doing some clips and everything like that, so you can go ahead and share, and maybe everybody will actually go ahead and watch the show. I know we had a lot of views last time we did this, so I greatly appreciate you. And if you win, I'm not going to hold you to it, but I hope to have you back on so you can talk about your win.
Well, no matter win or not, I'd love to come back on.
Yes.
Just the
All right.
opportunity to connect with people is huge. So thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that.
Well, thank you again. I hope everybody has a good night, and like, share, subscribe, and go vote. Okay, go vote. See you, everybody.